Okay, so I thought I would make a video of what it's like, a day in the life with me as a superintendent for a custom home builder. Take you around to the various sites that we have spread out through the county. Maybe give you a little bit better insight of what it is a superintendent actually does in the field for a custom home builder. Anyway, it's like 6 a.m. Typically get up, get rolling, check the schedules, which is what I'm doing now. We use a software program called Builder Trend. And it just kind of allows us to go through each of the projects, maintain a schedule with each of the jobs. Let's see here. So we use something called Gantt chart. It just lays out sort of in order phases of the project that are going on. It gives me an idea of where everything's at before I hit the field for the day. This is very helpful, very useful for us, and when we're tracking all of our different homes. So again, every morning when I wake up, I typically just glance at each one of these, and then on Wednesdays, usually during the middle of the week is when I'll update the schedules. I'll shift the actual dates and schedules because I've got enough information by Monday or Tuesday, through Monday, Tuesday, to the end of the week, and then the beginning of the following week, I've got enough information to make my adjustments. So that's the start of my day. Do your little stretches. Oh, he jumped. All right, we got to go to work, Tex. Well, you don't have to go to work. You get to stay around the house all day. So you get to stay around the house all day. Yeah. Obviously, before I can hit the field, I got to get presentable. Got to get my shower going. Get cleaned up. Get some breakfast. Tex, what do you think, buddy? Where you at? Oh, he's right there. All right, we are all cleaned up, ready to go, take on the day. We're gonna make our rounds to all the jobs. At least it's Friday, so get to look forward to that and all the projects that I got going on around our house, including that big old tree limb over there that fell down. Finish up our pole barn back there, which is gonna be our carport. Get some concrete poured. But first, we gotta run some power and move some sewage. Okay, here we are pulling into house number 1. And this is an 8,000 square foot, 2-story home that we've been working on for about the last, I'd say close to 10 months. And we're getting close to wrapping this one up in the coming weeks. Things that I'm looking for when I get to the job is the things that I scheduled the day before, or the things that were on the schedule, did they get done? So for an example, yesterday the septic tie-in was scheduled for the plumbers to come by and do. So I'm gonna check to make sure that was done, and it was. Would need inspection, but here in Sumter County, the other county that we do buildings in, they're not required to come out and look at that before it gets covered up. So that'll just get covered up. I just need to be able to put my eyes on it, make sure the task was done. And here we are. This is the entrance off the back lanai, and it takes you right directly into the great room. Currently in the process of getting the floors down. As you can see in here, this will be the kitchen with the peninsula. Over here is where we call the bar room. So it's just sort of a auxiliary pantry or butler's pantry, whatever you want to call it. They call it the bar. I'll take you over here real quick to the master bedroom wing of the home. You got some stairs. There's the front door. Little dormer there. This is the master bedroom wing, some storage underneath the stairs. This is going to be sort of a gym layout, I guess. There's a half bath, powder bath. This is the master bedroom. You have the closet over there, walk-in closet there. And then this is the master bath. So like I said, currently still got some electrical to button up, plumbing to button up, and then some tile work still to do in here. Take you to oops. When you come right into the front door, right here is another office. And with these custom homes, this is all owner selections. So these stairs just got finished. Well, they're not completely finished. They're gonna have whatever stain selection the homeowner puts on that. Let there be light. This dormer up here will be finished out with cypress tongue and groove details with cypress faux beams that will go over these hip and ridge beams. And there'll be a nice chandelier that hangs down in front of that window. Here's a unique looking bedroom. The lights don't currently come on. Yes, they do. They're over here. Aha! We just don't have the ceiling fan up for this area. So this is a very unique laid out bedroom. Assuming the bed will go there. And over here is just sort of a long corridor to put furniture in. Closet. Walk out, and then you have another bedroom that just mirrors it over here on this side. A little linen closet, actually pretty decent sized linen closet. And finishing up this bathroom, full bath up here, and then kind of a nook area that the homeowners thought would be really cool for their kids. Okay, heading back down the steps. Okay, moving on with the tour. Went upstairs. This is going to be the dining room area. Showed you the kitchen. We'll walk toward the left side of the kitchen through this corridor here, which is going to be a pantry area. A little dark in here. All right. Moving on. This is the entry into the garage. And then in the garage, you have another little flex space behind there. And it actually has a door that leads to the outside. There's a garage door. As soon as you come in through the garage, you got a full bath here with shower. Off to the left here is another office space with an exterior door that leads to the outside. There's all your data wire network connections. And this is a double pocket door here that they can close. So this is going to become a media room or a stage room. Let's turn some lights on here. And that's their stage. They're into music. And so that'll have some cabinet door fronts. The floors will finish off all the way underneath. And the floor will go over the stage right here. And this will be their music room. Okay, moving on. This, if you take this door, this opening right here, this will just take you around the corner back to the kitchen. So we just looped around the kitchen there. And this is that room that this house is famous for. This is the safe room. And it sits in the center. You can tell what we just did was walk completely around this thing. And this is solid floored block wall all the way around. And there's a little scuttle hole to get out of the room if need be. If for some reason this door was blocked, and that's a class 3 ballistic door, and it's pretty heavy duty. And then there's a small, very small shower toilet combination room here. And we're going to be able to get away with doing this because this is a special use room. And their concern would be if they have to get locked in here for more than a few days, they can use the bathroom and take a shower. Okay, moving on. This part of the house is the in-law wing of the home. Here you're gonna have the utility room / mudroom where the washer dryer goes. And then this is gonna be a whole separate living area over here with its own separate kitchen, living, dining area. Bedroom with closet and a full bath. And right across from that is another full bathroom with a bathtub. And then another flex room. This isn't really considered a bedroom because there is no closet. And that door right there leads you out back to where the front door is. So there's a front door to the house. In fact, we'll just show you. There you go. So here's one of the things that we've got going on the schedule today. Final grade, meaning we're getting the house ready for the flat work and the asphalt. And just dressing everything up. Okay. So in order to tighten up the grade around here for final grade, we are going to bring in loads of dirt so we can dress this up really nicely. And we have on the schedule about 15 to 20 loads today. We'll probably just get 10. All right, I'm going to head on to the next job. Now that you got a quick look at this one and the progress that we're making on it. Okay, so this next house we're going to is one that we finished up last year. It's a roughly 7,000 square foot under roof home. This isn't, the homeowners are living there now. That we finished up this house, like I said, last July or last August, somewhere in that time frame. What we're gonna do is the fireplace that was installed in their living room, it's a vent-free fireplace that runs on propane, and it puts off a lot of heat, and it's causing the bottom of their mantle to overheat. So what we're gonna do, the solution is we're gonna install like this vent fan. It's a strip that runs above the fireplace, and what that does is when they kick their fireplace on, it'll evacuate some of that heat away from like the mantle and the TV that's above the fireplace, and hopefully be able to enjoy the ambiance of the fireplace and not have it melt their mantle and melt their TV. So this is the home. As soon as we took away from the trees, this is a 7,000 square foot house that we did. It's got a big lanai, big pool in the back. So this is the one that we need to go and work on the fireplace. So this is the section right here that's getting demoed out. And then they're gonna install that vent grill across the top of this fireplace that will help pull the heat that's coming off this fireplace out and away from the TV and away from the mantle that was sitting here. Okay, wrap that up. We'll likely get that done all through next week. That's scheduled to get done. You'll have to bring in the electrician to run a circuit for the actual blower fan that goes in. We have to bring in the roofers to set a roof cap for the vent, the flex duct to connect to exhaust the heat out of the house. Then you got to bring the HVAC guys in to actually install the linear vent fan, the blower, motor, and all the duct work to the roof cap. Then we got to bring the stone guys back in just to put back the hardy and put the stone back on and dress it all up nice and neat the way it was before we started demoing it today. So all that just to be able to safely use their fireplace. Going on to the next one. Okay, quick pit stop at my house. I need to pick up a few tools. So as I make my way up to the north end of the county, I can address a couple issues that I got going on up there. So a lath and stucco / stone crew can finish their job. Not a big deal. I'm just gonna grab my saw. Right, got the saw, got the old DeWalt workstation here. So I'm gonna grab my saw. Let's go with a battery here. We need a good battery. Let's go with the cordless drill there. Another battery for that. Make sure I got the correct bits that I need. All right, Tex, what do you got? Oh, and this also gives me an opportunity to let my boy out for a minute. Texie, tell the camera that you're happy that I'm home for a few minutes until later this afternoon. Either me or the wife gets home. One of the two, whoever gets home first. Usually I'm home first, but all right, gotta load this up and get back on the road here shortly. We're back on the road. Speaking of back on the road, it's Friday, which typically means everything sort of winds down. It's not the busiest day of the week for me, not typically. On a busy day, those are your Mondays and Tuesdays when we're coming off the weekend, everybody's getting fired back up. This is stop number 2 for the day. This is a project that we started about, I'd say 4 or 5 months ago. Well, let's say 6 months ago. And it is a 3,500 under roof, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And right now we're working on the exterior here, wrapping up the hardy stonework. It hasn't been painted yet except for the cupola. And we're doing drywall in the interior. Let's go take a look and see how they're progressing. All right, so we are currently in the drywall, getting the drywall installed at this project. And this is the one that has the core in it, what we call the cupola on the outside, but the core inside in the middle. Here's some of the stone work we're doing right now. Some of the timber, tongue and groove details, hardy shakes, hardy siding. This will be cypress tongue and groove up here also. That beam's wrapped in hardy, and then this column will be wrapped in cypress. All right, that should wrap up what I need to do here. Got the stone guys squared away, got the drywallers squared away. We had to replumb this wall right here as it ties into the exterior masonry wall. A little bit out on the bottom plate down there. Got that fixed. Framers came by and took care of that. Drywallers are now able to finish doing everything they need to do. We also had to replace some of the, what we call the bucking around the windows, and replace it with this spruce that you see here now. That way when the drywall returns go into the windows, go back into the windows, they're nice and straight and true, and we don't have any issues with that. And this house is coming along. All right, so here's a house that we just finished up, I'd say about a month ago. And it's next to the house that I was just in on the property next door. So that's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, just under 4,000, I think. Just under 4,000 square foot under roof. And you saw that it had that little carport attached to it. There's no garage. It has a shop in the back. And I have some photos I could probably show you real quick of what the interior looked like right before we turned it over to the homeowner. Okay, on to stop 4 for the day, but house number 3 for the day. Okay, this is the house I call the little house on the prairie. It's not small by any means, by any stretch of the means. I think this one's over 4,000 square feet, 2-story. But as you pull up to this one, you wouldn't think that, especially from the road up there and the wide open property that they sit on. I believe this is about 15 acres they're on total out here. Not one single tree. But I call this one the little house on the prairie. Until you get around to the back, and it actually opens up to a pretty decent sized house. 2-car garage. It's got a back lanai, a back deck. So standard 2-car garage. Nothing really out of the ordinary there. Walk in. And there you have the front entry. Up front here, you're gonna have an office with a little closet there. Around the corner here, you're gonna have a full bath, the only bathroom downstairs. Reorient, we're going to go down. Here's the kitchen, and the backsplash was just pulled. It actually matches this backsplash, but we had to pull the entire backsplash because the homeowner wanted the backsplash a little bit higher, so we had to redo this. And that's a cabinet that's missing here right now. Here's your island with a little granite front there, little skirt on the front of those, kind of a new, different feature on this. Big sink. Nice dirty window for you. And this is gonna be the living room area. Right now the electricians are here getting all the electrical tied up, trimmed out. And here's gonna be sort of a gymnasium area. You're gonna have a door that gives you access to underneath the steps. Here you're gonna have your HVAC closet for your air handler downstairs. Around the corner here, we have the mud room with a little dog wash station. Very small dog wash station. Exterior door for access to the outside. Exit to the back lanai area. We're gonna go up the steps now. And these wires that are sticking out of the wall here are actually gonna be stair lighting. There'll be little LED trim kits there that'll go in. The canopy lights that goes around, there'll be 3 total. We're actually going to end up demoing this wall down because the homeowner wants to change this out for handrail and balusters. Let's turn around real quick. Right at the top of the stairs, you got a small closet here to the left. Directly across from that is another little closet, but this is actually different. This closet's going to have an opening in it, and it's going to shoot through the floor trusses down into the laundry room below. And then directly at the top of the stairs, you got more storage. This is all the bedrooms in this floor plan are upstairs. We'll call this bedroom 1. Other nice thing about the bedrooms, I guess you consider the bedroom downstairs is going to be an office, a bedroom. But these bedrooms have bathrooms, ensuite bathrooms, full baths with their own closet in the bathrooms, which is kind of a neat design. So you got your linen, your clothes, your closet for your clothes, and then you have closet in your restroom. I guess it's a neat feature, convenient feature. Coming on around, it's the other bathroom, bedroom combo, sink, closet in the bath. Spinning on around here, you have the bedroom with the closet. Now the difference in this one is the bedroom next door is just a bathroom that's an ensuite. This one actually gives you access, anybody who's up here, to use this bathroom. Because over here you have sort of this flex space, this flex room. That's not really designated bedroom. Out here is the deck. It's gonna get tiled out there. Right now that's just the waterproofing membrane that goes over top of the roof decking. And it'll have a vinyl handrail that goes all the way around. Master suite. Tray ceiling. Her closet, it's gonna have a barn door go across. Walking around the corner here, we're going to the master bath. His closet. Master tub, walk-in shower, water closet. His vanity, her vanity. And then we'll finish it off back here. Again, they just have access as well to this back deck area. So the outstanding items are really pending on this project currently are the electricians who are here now trimming out. And the important thing for the electricians to do anytime they get to a point where they're trimming out a house, where they're doing their final install of fixtures and outlets and devices and switches, they get the HVACs powered up. So I can get the home cooled down or heated up depending on what time of the year we're in, because the vinyl flooring or wood flooring in this house, in this case, it's going to be vinyl flooring, can acclimatize before install. I'll bring in the HVAC guys to power up the air conditioners. The floor installers will give it a few days for the house to actually cool down. It actually requires about minimum 72 hours for the entire house to cool down. In this case, because we're kind of on the brink of summer here in Florida, so it's certainly cool down month time. So the AC will bring the temperature of the home down to 75, 77 degree range is what we look for, and maintain that for about 3 to 5 days. We try to make it about 5 days. 3 if we're really wanting to push it, but 5 days, we'll let the house set up. We'll get the floors delivered. We'll let the floors set up for about 72 hours, and then they can actually start to prep, get ready for floor install. And then there's all the other little minor touching up that the electricians do. Of course, the backsplash is going to get reinstalled from the granite company, and then they can finish trimming out all the devices in the backsplash. Plumbers can come back, finish their trim out, and then the floor installers, when they're done with the floor, they'll get and tackle any of the backsplashes, or for example, upstairs, they have to tile that back deck area. So that is the main items that we have left on this home. Of course, outside, what I have left is final grade, meaning the same thing I showed you earlier in the video. We go around the house, we clean up the site, we get it prepped for flat work, And in this case, the flat work is gonna be right here at the garage. In the county that we're in, we have to do a minimum 20 foot, basically the width of the garage door opening, a minimum 20 feet out. You have to have concrete flat work, which is not just something you have to have, it's something you wanna have. So you're not just pulling up on grass and dirt into your garage. This one doesn't get a whole lot of landscape, but that's another thing we do offer for our clients is whatever type of landscaping package they want. This house doesn't get a ton of landscaping, not with us anyway. So we do what we need to do. And in this county, they require erosion control, a minimum amount of erosion control. And sometimes all that means is we would come out and put at least some layer, some width of pine straw, usually about 3 feet off the house of pine straw, and then sod. So in this case, they're gonna actually get some sod all the way up to the house, which is considered erosion control. A little bit of concrete work here behind me, so they can pull up on concrete. And I think it's some shrubs and some plants that are going around the house, but they have a nice wide open piece of property here. Plenty of room to start and build other projects on, that's for sure. Okay, we're going on to the next one. Right, pulling up into the next stop for the day. Made it here to stop number 4 or 5 for the day. And this is the one that we were going to be starting the block work on Monday. Well, we hope to be starting the block work on Monday. We don't have the lintels here. I don't have the masonry sand. I don't have the rebar. I don't have any of the lintel screens and any of the stuff that the actual masons need to put the block together with. None of that's here. And I just called them and they mentioned that out of the 7 trucks they work on or work out of, only 1 is operating right now. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But for us, the kind of bind that puts me in is I've had the block mason scheduled for Monday to start this home. They can get this house done in about 2 days. The issue is if that material's not sitting here with my eyes on the material and make sure that the quantities and all that stuff is here for them, there's no point for them to show up. So that right there alone, even though it was scheduled to be here today, it's at the mid-afternoon on a Friday. If I don't physically see it here, even though they say they still may drop it this afternoon or even tomorrow, they can text me and let me know, but it's kind of sketchy over the weekend. It's one of those things I gotta play it by ear. They could update me and be like, hey Nick, the stuff got delivered today being Saturday, which is tomorrow. And then I could relay that over to the block masons. But if they can't get a guarantee to start Monday, they might pull off and go to another job, which could delay this job another 3 or 4 days before they actually get started. Just that one hiccup, not getting the material here. It was actually originally supposed to be here yesterday. Then it got delayed to today. Now it sounds like it's getting delayed till maybe later on today or tomorrow, which is going to delay my guys starting Monday. And if they can't start Monday, I don't know that they'll actually start Tuesday, because typically what they'll do is if they got another job lined up, they'll go start that one and then come back to this one, which could hold us off another few days. And that right there can spiral into, over the course of a project, those delays like that, just little mishaps and things happen. It's not their fault per se. If their trucks are breaking down and delivery guys call out sick, there's nothing they can do about it. So it's just part of the job. It's part of having to be flexible out here. So we'll just see what happens. And then for now, I'm going to call them off. Big things with this site was the actual prepping of this for the slab. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of red clay, or a lot of clay mixture in the soil. And this slab had to be over excavated. And what I mean by that is below the slab, there is a huge sock and perforated pipe that goes all the way around. And underneath that, we basically took all the soil down to about 4 feet, sloped it toward the front of the house. I'll turn around here. Sloped it down toward the front of the house right here and piped it out. And what happens is down here at the bottom of this grade, this slope, somewhere over there, there's a pipe that daylights out. That way, any of the water that gets underneath the slab, even though we do put clean fill, 4 feet worth of clean fill up underneath the slab, as that water gets through that clean fill, it'll grab that, it'll make its way into that pipe and eventually daylight out, because clay does not drain. And it's the same thing with our septic tank back here. You'll notice all this clean septic sand or clean fill back here. We actually had to dig down about 8 feet right here behind me, because the tanks will go in here and your drain field will get dug out and go in here. So we backfilled all this with clean fill so the septic system can drain out. Now this also daylights out. This actually goes all the way out as clean fill. So when this drains off, your sewage water drains off into the infiltrators, it can push out past the clay, because everything else around here would just hold water. You would just basically have a pool of water right there if we didn't do that. And this one's going to be a 4,700 square foot under roof, 2-story. And hopefully, like I said, we can get started on it at some point next week. I'm still hoping for Monday, but we'll see. And for now, that's all I can really do here, because that is the next phase, is getting the block masons in here to start making this thing a home. All right, on to the next one. All right, so this will wrap up our last stop of the day. This is a project that we started just before Thanksgiving last year. It's moving along here. My thing today was I was checking to see if the drywall actually got delivered, and it did. Drywall mud, everything here has been insulated, inspections have been passed, and there will be a crew here on Tuesday of next week. And this one will go into drywall. This is about a 3,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Pretty quick layout. That's your front entry there. Come in, you got tray ceilings. This is a double tray ceiling, but this is the dining room area here. Behind that drywall is a fireplace. Nice 4-panel sliding door that takes you out to the back lanai. Eventually they'll have a pool back here. Orient you this way. We came in through the garage here. That's your mud room, washer dryer. This is your kitchen, which will have wraparound cabinets into a peninsula. You'll have a commercial style refrigerator freezer here. Around this corner is the master bedroom with the tray ceiling. They have their own passage door into the backyard, which again will be the pool area. Double pocket doors take you into the master bathroom. And I like the layout of this. This is going to be a walk-in shower, but the shower will have glass that starts out here on the floor and goes all the way up to this fur down here, with the opening being on the left, 0 entry opening here on the left and the right. And then you'll have a solar tube that actually comes down into the shower to give them natural light in there. Over on this side here, you have a linen closet. You're going to have a vanity here, spinning around, water closet, another vanity, so his and hers, and their walk-in closet, which is actually in the bathroom, is here with some natural light that gets to come through into the closet. That's the back side of the shower there. And moving on, got our drywall set up, ready for install. Moving past the kitchen, here's your pantry. And then down here is the 2 other bedrooms with the other full bath. You got a hallway linen closet here. Bedroom 1. Full bath with walk-in shower. And bedroom 2. With your 2 closets back there. That's it. Thank you for following along today. Again, this was a Friday, so there wasn't as much going on as a typical Monday, Tuesday brings me. As the week goes on, it sort of tapers off. I still got to get out to the job, still got to get my hands and eyes on everything. This was just sort of a brief look into what a day in the life is like for me as a superintendent for a custom home builder. Every day has something different. Every day is unique. There's always different phases of these houses going on. As you can see, I took you through 5 different houses and to another house that we finished up last year that's in warranty. There's a lot to keep up with. There's all the trades. You got to think there's roughly 25 or so trades that I have to schedule throughout the entire process of the build, and the various suppliers that go along with it, keeping them on schedule, making sure that we get the material delivered. We have not just the house that we're building, but we have all the site preparation that has to be done on the front end of the project as well on the back end. Ultimately, our goal here is to transition from phase to phase to phase and get to the end where we can do a final walkthrough with the homeowner and deliver them a quality product. I'm Nick. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you on the next one.